government is about to roll out a semester-based system at senior high schools across the country. The program will begin this academic year in September. This is to make sure that more and more students benefit from the free SHS policy. But private senior high schools have issues with a yet-to-be-rolled-out system. My name is Kojo Ajman and this is News Connect. Let's have a discussion with them.
There's a huge deficit when it comes to facilities in the public sector. But we think government can work with various partners to solve the problem other than the option they are going for. So generally, as my brother said, we will not have a problem with any initiative that helps the Ghanaian child. But we need to think about it carefully and make sure it's actually going to help the Ghanaian child.
Thinking about it carefully, what are some of the problems that you envisage? The problems with these, with this yet to be rolled out policy, the double intake. You were talking about the challenges.
You see, basically what you see here is that our monitoring system, as far as education is concerned in this country, is a problem. Here we are going to have more or less like a sandwich or distance kind of education that we have the tertiary system running. If a child is supposed to be in school for the 41 days or so and still stay home for that 41 days, what other mechanisms do we have in place for that? Staying in home, the house for about 41 days. But
with the current system, we know they go on vacation, so that will be the time for their vacation.
Unfortunately, our contact hours with this particular policy is going to reduce. That is one thing we have not taken cognizance of. It is really going to reduce. And until we put in better mechanism to really deal with it when people are going to stay home, that is where the deficit comes. So it is only going to focus on when you are in school, our attention is on you. When you are out of school, nobody really cares what is really happening.
But when they are out of school, you can engage them with project works, research work and all that.
You are trying to add to the policies. Anyway, I think it's good. You are trying to suggest to government. I don't know how far, maybe unless we see a blueprint, how the whole thing is going to be. But if, as we said earlier, they are just resorting to a desperate measure, when indeed there are other alternatives available. If it's all about trying to absorb the numbers you have, every means possible, making sure everybody goes to school, as they rightly said, Shop's dreams wakes up all the time and thinking of how Ghanaian children can have quality education. If you have the same dream, I have the same dream. Are we not on the same page?
Yeah, on the same
so why do you want to move and leave us behind?
Let me deal with the numbers now. So looking at the numbers, the government is saying that this is a measure to make sure that no child is left behind. Looking at the numbers, is it encouraging, and what can you private schools do to augment government's effort?
Okay, so assuming that we have a deficit of space for 180 or 182,000 students entering Form 1, if you divide them into two, that is 90,000 thereabouts. Well, this year in the 2018 WASI, 946 schools wrote the WASI. Now, it means that all these schools have gone through certain accreditation levels. One, they were accredited by their regional education officers. Two, the National Inspectorate of the Ghana Education Service inspected those schools and approved them. Three, the Secondary Education Division of the GES approved those schools. Then four, the West African Examinations Council came in, did an independent inspection, apart from the inspection that the GES did. They conducted their own independent inspection.
That's double checking.
Yes, and passed these students, registered them, and gave the schools numbers so they can register their students. These are 946 schools that have gone through all these basic checks. Now, government is going to use 696 schools. 696 public schools in the implementation of the double stream. Now, if you take 696 from 946, you have exactly 250. Those are the number of private schools. 250 minimum private schools that are ready. They have dormitories, they have classrooms, they have furniture, and they have teachers.
But we do not only talk about infrastructure in readiness. It's more than that. It's more than the classrooms, the teachers. Do you have the basic, are you the syllable and all that?
These are schools that have passed through, they have passed through various inspections. Ghana Education Service has approved them. They have passed. Then the West African Examination Council has also inspected and passed them. Okay, now if you have 250 private schools with empty classrooms and empty dormitories, let's do a numbers thing. If we, on average, enroll 360 children, that will be about 90,000 students. Now, if you enroll 50,000 students, 500 students per school, that's 125,000 Form 1 students who will be absorbed. The problem is solved. Okay, so, and there are schools that have the capacity to enroll even up to 1,000 students. Okay, they have the empty classrooms, and they have the dormitories, and they have the capacity to do it. So, we want to partner with government. Government is doing a great thing. We want to support government. You know, our adage says that the one who is climbing a good tree is the one you push. We want to push government. We want to push government to climb that tree. And we have classrooms, and we have dormitories, we have dining hall, and we have teachers who are already experienced and have been teaching and have presented students for examinations.
All right, so we understand that you want to partner government to make sure that the numbers will be reduced. But looking at even the single take in the free SHS policy, many a times government subventions do not go in time. People who cook for these institutions always cry for their allowances and payment. Are you ready to put your businesses at risk just because you want to partner government deliver free SHS? I'll start with you, Doc.
Oh, okay. You see, we believe in government. And if a government is owing you, you don't have problem. We are not dealing directly with suppliers. We are dealing with the government. And we believe if government comes to us, sit down with us, to judge all, we will see the way forward to help our children. Because all these years we have been operating our schools and we know how to manage feeding, teaching, and administrative issues. We have been in the business for long. And we are not begrudging government, and we can't begrudge him. So we are just entreating the government to know that we are partners in development in terms of education. And there's no way we can challenge government. So I believe if the president in his own wisdom direct the Minister of Education to call us on a roundtable discussion, we will table our arrangement and programs forward so that he also comes with his programs, so that at least we will understand or agree on certain levels. Then we start from there. You see, it can't just be once. Or you can't just start a program that we are doing it this way and it's going to succeed. We don't know what's going to happen. But we are ready as a private sector to partner government to make sure that whatever vision the government has for the country becomes a reality.
Private schools have got infrastructure. At the time of putting up this infrastructure, none of the schools sought assistance from government to set up those infrastructure. In that same vein, if government have these students with us, just as we're able to put up this massive infrastructure that is available for the government to use, so it is that we're going to have it done with the government. Just as my brother said, if government is owing you, at least you can even have letters of credit from a bank. Yes, there's an assurance that no matter what, government will pay you.
Private senior high schools say they want to partner government to roll out the semester-based system at second cycle schools. They believe they can help government provide quality education. This has been another episode of News Connect on City TV. My name is Kojo Achman. Let's connect soon.